Another that was involved in care at Advent Health.
Why it took deputies more than 6 months to file charges after she was fired.
And a big change after nights of intense rain. Storms moved out and cleared up early. When they'll be firing back up where you live.
We lost everything. I lost both my cars. I lost everything inside of my home, everything I possessed, and my daughter, my family, everything gone.
She not only lost everything, her home still has major cracks years after a $23 million fix to stop future flooding is almost finished. Why she's skeptical it's going to work at all.
Lake Mary! Lake Mary! Big time support for our Little League All-Stars. The baseball boys won't be back in the World Series, but the girls could still take the top title in softball.
But we start now at 10 tonight with that new plea for answers days after a deadly hit-and-run crash killed a man in his wheelchair. I'm Ginger Gadsden. Thanks for joining us.
I'm Matt Austin. Troopers have now released surveillance video they hope will identify that sedan as the daughter of the 48-year-old man killed shares her grief. It happened around 9 Sunday night on State Road 436 near East Colonial Drive in East Orange County, not far from the Orlando Executive Airport. News 6 Orange County community correspondent Troy Campbell is speaking with the victim's family about the sudden loss.
This business tells us this is the camera where investigators got surveillance footage of the crash. We spoke with the victim's family, who is urging that driver to turn themselves in. Naomi Castro says her family is left heartbroken after the death of her father, 48-year-old Pedro Castro.
What went through your mind when you heard somebody had hit your father with their vehicle and kept going?
I was like, what? Are you kidding me?
Florida Highway Patrol says just before 9 p.m. Sunday, a dark-colored sedan struck Castro in his wheelchair as he attempted to cross State Road 436 near State Road 50. Troopers say he was not in a crosswalk and the driver fled the scene.
How can someone, just anyone, any human being, do that to another human being? It's so cruel, because you would think that you have, some kind of heart to stop and see if he's okay. But the fact that they just kept going, it frustrates me.
Troopers released this video of the crash, hoping to generate leads to identify the driver.
Did you watch that video of the crash?
Unfortunately, I saw it today. I didn't even know it was out until family and coworkers came to me and they brought it to my attention. And
Castro says her father was a great cook and known to make others laugh. She's now hoping someone is held responsible for leaving the scene of his death.
What is your message to anyone who knows who's driving that vehicle or where that vehicle is today?
Please, for the love of God, if there's any inch of humanity in you, please come out. If you know something, if you've seen it, if you know anything, please come out and say it.
And we have a link to the family's fundraising page on our website, clickorlando.com. And again, FHP is urging anyone with information about that suspect vehicle to call Crime Line, their number 800-423-TIPS. I'm your Orlando community correspondent, Troy Campbell, News 6.
Our other top story tonight, a jaw-dropping arrest out of Flagler County. Newly released body cam footage shows a woman still in her hospital scrubs being arrested by deputies. Investigators say she cared for nearly 4,000 people while working at Advent Health Palm Coast Hospital. One problem, deputies say she forged her nursing license. Your Flagler County community correspondent Molly Reed spoke with the sheriff.
The sheriff here in Flagler County calls this case unusual. Now, deputies say the woman's intent was to eventually become a nurse, but she never got the license and instead pretended to be someone who is actually licensed to be a nurse in Florida.
We believe that there were over 4,400 patients that she was in one manner or another that was involved in care at Advent Health Palm Coast.
Autumn Bardisa now faces 14 charges.
Am I being arrested?
She was fired back in January. Body cam shows deputies arresting her on Tuesday.
And the reason it took 7 months is you have to remember that we are trying to thread the needle on HIPAA laws.
Sheriff Rick Staley says the 29-year-old woman worked at the Advent Health Palm Coast Parkway Hospital from 2023 to 2025. He says in reality, she failed the national test to become a registered nurse, so she didn't have a license. Instead, she applied using the license of another woman named Autumn, who was an actual employee of Advent Health elsewhere in Florida.
They noticed when they checked that the last name was different, and she said, well, I just got married.
Staley says Advent Health asked her to turn in a marriage license as proof, but she never did. It was only discovered that she was using a fake nursing license when she was offered a promotion to charge nurse in January. Another nurse checked for her license under her real name, found Bardisa didn't have one, went to Advent Health authorities, and she was fired.
Ironically, after she was fired from Advent Health, she actually did take the licensing exam in early 2025 and passed it this time.
And she, of course, was already under criminal investigation at that time. Now, anybody who believes they might be a victim of Bardisa is asked to contact deputies here at the Flagler Sheriff's Office at fakenurse@flaglersheriff.com. I'm your Flagler County Community Correspondent Molly Reed, News 6.
All right, in case you missed it, that email address Molly just shared, it's right on your screen. Again, it's fakenurse@flaglersheriff.com. Reach out to them if you have any concerns about any care you may have gotten at Advent Health Palm Coast Hospital in the past.
Now to some scandalous claims that have landed an embattled local congressman back in the news. An ex-girlfriend says Corey Mills threatened to release revenge porn of her after she dumped him. Lindsay Langston's also the reigning Miss United States pageant winner. In an incident report, she told police Congressman Mills threatened to release intimate images and video after she left him earlier this year. Things went sour after news broke that another woman who was living in Mills' Washington home accused the congressman of assaulting her. That woman later withdrew her accusation. Mills put out a statement that says, in part, these claims are false and misrepresent the nature of my interactions. I have always conducted myself with integrity, both personally and in service to Florida's 7th District. Congressman Mills most recently made headlines after News 6 learned he was facing eviction from a Washington, D.C. penthouse that was costing him more than $20,000 a month. A landlord filed paperwork to have Congressman Mills thrown out of that apartment near the Potomac River. The landlord claimed Mills owes more than $85,000 for unpaid rent from March through July. At that time, Mills said the payment portal wasn't working correctly. Wasn't the first time the congressman's finances have come into question. The House Ethics Committee posted confirmation that it was investigating Mills' finances back in March.
New at 10 tonight, after years of construction and $23 million tax dollars, Orange County says a major flooding fix is almost complete in an area that's no stranger to water woes. When Hurricane Ian hit, people in Orla Vista had to be rescued. 4 feet of water flooded homes when a retention pond overflowed. Community correspondent Jarrell Baker met a woman in Orla Vista who is skeptical this fix is enough to protect her home.
The water was underneath my house in the cracks. But there's things like here, this is the cinder block that I'm talking about in my utility rooms.
Janae Buford Johnson says that she has several cracks around her home.
I have foundational cracks in my home, and I can see if I go into my utility room, I can actually see through the side of cinder block outside cracks.
Just some of the damage left behind after Hurricane Ian flooded streets and homes in her Orla Vista neighborhood back in 2022.
We lost everything. I lost both my cars. I lost everything inside of my home, everything I possessed, and my daughter, my family, everything gone.
3 years and $23 million tax dollars later, Orange County says that they're 99.9% finished with the project behind Buford Johnson's home. All 3 retention ponds in the area are now 12 feet deeper and connected with pumps, pipes, and inlets. It's all aimed at easing future flooding and protecting the community during major storms and hurricanes.
It's been battle tested. We've had quite a few significant heavy rain events, and this is kind of withstood the test of time so far.
Orange County Commissioner Mike Scott said they also received a grant for the Orla Vista Integrated Water Resources Project, which will capture stormwater and reuse it to water yards and recharge the underground aquifer, where most of Florida's drinking water comes from.
However we use it, it again draws down more water, so the likelihood of flooding or even just standing water in a bad storm is even more greatly reduced than what these ponds can handle.
Some flood-weary families in Orla Vista believe the projects will work, but Buford Johnson says more still needs to be done, like clearing the drainage system.
Even a couple of weeks ago when we had that serious rain, it flooded out here. It was in the street. It was up there by the mailbox, right there in the street.
Orange County says that storm drains in Orla Vista were recently inspected and are working properly, but added there's nothing that can be done immediately when heavy rains hit from intense summer storms. Construction teams plan to finish the mitigation project later this month and expect to complete the water resources project in 2029. In Orla Vista, Jarrell Baker, News 6.
Well, tonight's storms ended up much earlier than we've seen for the past few nights.
Yeah, but more rain is on the way. Here's meteorologist Jonathan Kagis.
And they're likely going to focus in different areas through Central Florida starting tomorrow and going into the weekend. We're going to pinpoint who is the best opportunity to see those storms through your weekend at about 10:17.
And it's a tale of two Little League teams from one city with one common thing. See how the boys and girls are seeing big community support in Lake Mary, win or lose.
I don't feel like I'm a mom to my full potential, because I can't really be there for them.
She's been a single mom and her whole family, including her 3 school-age kids, have been homeless. Next, how that makes back to school a struggle.
You're watching News 6 at 10, live on a Wednesday night, covering Melbourne Beach, Metro West, and all of Central Florida. Well, back to school can mean clothes, supplies, really a fresh start. But for one single mom, it's about something more basic, just trying to get her 3 kids to class on time.
Yeah, it's a reality more than 8,000 students face every year in Orange County alone. I met one woman whose story shows how quickly life can spiral even when a parent is doing all the right things.
This is our second time going through this.
For Kimberly Bravo, school mornings don't start with a drive to campus. Sometimes they start with a long walk or a phone call to her mom, hoping she has gas money.
I don't feel like I'm a mom to my full potential, because I can't really be there for them.
She's been homeless for more than a month this time, moving between hotels, shelters, and sometimes even sleeping outside. She and her partner Solomon do what they can to provide for the kids. Their latest bout with homelessness started after she and Solomon lost their apartment. They were already living paycheck to paycheck. Then he lost his job and the rent went up.
It was just kind of became overwhelming for me to pay. I ended up getting evicted.
Kimberly says this is the vicious cycle once you have an eviction on your record.
I feel like in Florida, once you have an eviction on your name, you're considered a felon.
Every application for an apartment costs money, money they don't have. And she's not alone. Last year, Orange County Public Schools identified almost 9,000 students as homeless, the most in Florida. More than 600 of them were living in cars, parks, or other places not meant for people to sleep. For Kimberly, it's a constant juggling act, finding work close enough to walk to so she can still get her kids to school and back.
Everything that's closed is already being taken up by people who are residential here, you know?
And she knows her kids feel the weight of it all.
They sometimes even say that they'd rather be out there sleeping with us because they don't want us to go through it alone.
Still, she pushes forward for them.
Honestly, it's given us the strength to keep going.
And we do have some good news to share. Since our interview, Kimberly and Solomon have been able to secure housing with the help of a homeless advocacy group. Orange County schools do offer other forms of help, from transportation to clothing, but the need is outpacing resources right now.
So glad they're doing better there. If you'd like to help families like Kimberly's, we have information on how to donate or volunteer. Just look for this article on clickorlando.com.
Well, it is not the outcome Lake Mary baseball fans had hoped for. At 11, sports director Jamie Say will show us why the Little Leaguers won't be back in their World Series.
Hey, but the girls still have a shot at winning the whole show, and community correspondent Alex Cook was in Lake Mary as crowds cheered both teams on.
Lake Mary! Lake Mary!
First, the reigning champions Lake Mary All-Stars played. Going into the final inning, Lake Mary was winning 4-0, and it looked like the team would head to the championship again. At the bottom of that last inning, the mood got tense and everything changed.
No way. They just won.
Everybody was really feeling like we thought we were going to win, obviously, coming down to that.
The final score 5-4, South Carolina. The Lake Mary team will be heading home, but their supporters here say making it this far is still a feat.
Still support them, always. I mean, they made it super far this year already, so, and they won last year. You can't really beat that, so, I mean, just big props to them. Keep their heads up.
And they still had a whole other team to support. The TVs switched to Lake Mary's girls softball team, and the cheering began again.
I think it's so cool that we're able to watch a local team that we know come out here and do their big one on TV, and it's just being able to support with our family and watching them, like some people we know out there, it's just really inspiring for everybody.
The girls played another close game that went to extra innings. They ultimately prevailed, keeping them in the series. In Lake Mary, Alex Cook, News 6.
All right, bravo, boys. They ought to hold their heads high, for sure.
You can't win them all.
No, they made us proud, too.
Yeah.
They made us very
proud.
proud.
The odds were stacked against them, won twice in a row. That never happens.
That is for sure.
Well, the world's newest and biggest cruise ship is arriving Saturday in Brevard County. Taking a live look at our launch credit union Port Canaveral, Royal Caribbean Star of the Seas. We'll call it home starting this weekend.
So it took nearly 2 years to build the new ship in Finland. Star of the Seas has 20 decks and can carry up to 7,600 guests at full capacity. The ship, well, my gosh.
I don't want to be on a boat with that many people.
It's a floating city. The ship will offer 7-night Eastern and Western Caribbean adventures. Music legend Diana Ross is expected to perform as she welcomes the first passengers before it sets sail. On August 31st, she will be the ship's godmother.
Okay. Diana's going to have a different suite than the rest of us, though.
She's going to be at the front of the ship the whole.
She's just going to. That's going to be her seat. She's going to get to drive it.
Exactly.
Yeah. Meteorologist Jonathan Kegis joining us now. How are we looking outside with the weather?
We're looking pretty good. There's just a few sprinkles out there, some light showers sliding through, all the bigger stuff pushing south and west of central Florida. Watching this little tropical wave, it's not going to do anything to us except for increase our rain chances and really change the rainfall pattern on who gets wet or who has the best opportunity to get wet over the next several days. And to stay up with that forecast, of course, you can always download the free News 6 weather app and track the storms alongside us tonight. As this works its way across the Florida peninsula, it's going to shift the wind out of the east over the next couple of days, and that's going to help to push everything or most of the stuff, the most widespread stuff, to the west side. So here's 10 o'clock tomorrow, a couple of stray showers sneaking on shore. Also because of that breeze off of the Atlantic, so we'll get the earlier start time for those. And then note what happens as we get deeper into the evening. There is 6 o'clock, and everything wants to fire and then be pinned along the I-75 corridor and closer to the Gulf Coast late into the evening. So the theme, not only for tomorrow, really through your weekend, is going to be the further west you are, the wetter you're going to be. The further east you are, the drier you're going to be. 76 right now in Orlando. Wildwood, good evening. We are at 81 degrees. Tomorrow morning, rain chances at 30% again, mainly for a few of those showers to sneak on shore. Otherwise, though, we're dry. We're starting things off into the upper 70s. Tomorrow in the afternoon, rain chances stay at 60%, especially on the west side of Central Florida. Temperatures getting back into the mid-90s. If you're heading to the theme parks tomorrow, again, rain chance is going to be a little elevated early into the afternoon. But as we showed you there, we will see those storm chances really try to focus to the west. And this is going to play it out here as we move through Friday back to the weekend. There it is, Saturday afternoon. That's 5 o'clock for you. Certainly the opportunity for a few downpours and thunderstorms to bubble up near the Atlantic beaches, but those should quickly move away. So if you're spending the weekend at the beach, maybe celebrating the last weekend of summer before the kids go back to school, I think you're going to have a pretty nice beach day. All the action should be toward I-75 and the Gulf Coast. The same deal on Sunday if you're heading outside. More widespread thunderstorms really from I-4 to points to the west. So while the rain chances are going to be high again, here's kind of the deciding factor. Don't pay too much attention to the legend here. Just note that the higher rain chances are in the darker yellow there, mainly to the west of I-75 over the next 5 days. So that's going to be kind of the split of the rainfall pattern. Tropics, the bark is worse than its bite. Really, the buzz is worse than its bite. There's really not a ton of activity out there. I think a lot of people are making it worse than it actually is, but you see again the highlights from the Hurricane Center. There's Dexter. It's way out there. It's basically non-tropical. Just a slight chance for development off the eastern seaboard. Better chance out in the middle of the Atlantic, but there are no immediate threats to Florida or the United States. 60% shot for storms through the weekend. Temperatures staying in the mid-90s.
Jonathan, thank you. Hey, Matt, have you tried the new food hall in Ivanhoe Village?
In fact, I have. In fact, I haven't had to eat since. It just opened a few months ago. I was lucky enough to try some of the must-haves. I'm going to dish out the best next on the I-4 Food Tour.
I am dedicating this meal right here to my cardiologist. You can't walk 5 feet without tripping over a food hall these days. The question is the food any good? Today, we're testing it at City Food Hall. Let's see what you should try. But before we get to that food, let's check out some RVs from our sponsor, Giant Recreation World. You gonna come to a food hall and not try the burger first? This is Smash Dunk Burger Place. Man, My blood pressure's rising already. It's really good. Crispy, buttery, burger patties in there. Then you have the egg yolk dripping down with the bacon. Let me get a little more of this. This is just crispy little burger pancakes laid on top of each other. Ton of cheese in between. This is good. You gotta keep me away from this place. You can't eat it every day, but you can eat it sometimes, right? So right here, let's get a good look at these guys up close. These look really good. This is the bacon version of the egg dose. And this is the steak and eggs. And then look what they gave me on the side. Maple syrup. Get a good look. There's a healthy slathering of sauce on this guy. It's like some little cojita cheese, maybe? Okay, I'm a little scared. Okay. Oh, catch this. It's dripping. It's doing it. It's fantastic. It's delicious. Okay, this one has scrambled eggs, cheese, and some very crispy looking bacon. Slow-mo it. There we go. All right, enough of that. Something funny going on in here. The bread is almost like French toast. So it's like French toast, scrambled eggs, cheese, bacon, all in one. That's too much. Too much. So, this is a great little breakfast. So I just stuffed myself on a ridiculous cheeseburger, triple patty. I also hit egg dose here. Next week, we're gonna try 2 more, and I'm gonna tell you what I recommend you try when you come to the City Food Hall. That's next week on the I-4 Food Tour.
Sponsored by Giant Recreation World. Visit Giant Recreation World today.
Hey, thank you so much for joining us for 10 o'clock tonight. You can find all of tonight's stories plus breaking news on News 6 Plus.
It's free to download to your smart TV or your streaming device. Have yourself a great night. Not just a good night.